It's cracked down on illegal immigrant truck drivers following a series of awful, deadly crashes that took the lives of many people across several states.
Most people think substance smuggling happens in dark alleys, but this time it was happening in broad daylight on every major interstate. Federal agents just dismantled Southwest Logistics, a company that made $300 million a year while secretly serving a cartel.
It's the largest takedown of a New York City-based drug trafficking operation in 30 years.
They had a split fleet where half the trucks were real and the other half were high-tech smuggling vessels. With over 600 people in handcuffs, this bust has changed everything we know about how these groups operate. The details of this secret empire are absolutely wild and involve secrets that were buried for years under heavy metal. Midnight Raid. On the secret highway empire, the world of American shipping was shaken to its core when federal agents moved against a shadow empire hidden in plain sight. More than 600 people were taken into custody in a massive operation against a major substance cartel. In San Diego alone, 133 arrests were made as the trap snapped shut. In New York City, federal agents made the largest methamphetamine bust in recent history. The way these items were moved into the area was shocking. They seized hundreds of kilos of fentanyl that could harm tens of millions of Americans. It all started in the very early hours of October 20th, 2025. At 4 in the morning, the GPS screens in the Federal Command Center lit up with 250 targets moving across 48 states. To the rest of the country, these were just Southwest Logistics trucks delivering fresh produce to major stores like Walmart and Costco. They had perfect safety records and a 15-year history of being on time. They were seen as a perfect American success story. But to the 400 federal agents waiting in the darkness, they were ghost units. At exactly 4 in the morning, the order was given to start Operation Highway Harvest. Across the nation, the trap was closed. Tactical teams and highway patrol cars swarmed the trucks at the same time. When agents opened the doors of a trailer on Interstate 10, they saw what every inspector had seen for a long time. There were crates of lettuce and tomatoes everywhere. But this time, the officers did not stop at the vegetables. They brought in heavy tools and metal bars. They went straight for the floor of the trailer. Beneath the cold cargo space, hidden by a custom-made hydraulic room that had fooled inspectors for years, was the real load. It was not insulation they found under those boards. It was 52 tons of pure crystal methamphetamine. This was not just regular trafficking. This was a huge criminal fight disguised as a shipping business. The cartel had not just joined the supply chain. They had built their own trucking company from the ground up to move their poison across the country. For 15 years, this company acted like a real business with a headquarters in Texas that had glass walls and nice rooms. They had 500 drivers and made $300 million in revenue every single year. But the investigation found a terrifying secret. The company was started by the cartel and owned by criminals. The leaders were traffickers who wore suits and ties instead of tactical gear. The smartest part of the plan was the split fleet system. Out of their 250 trucks, 150 were actually real. They carried real food and made real money to keep the company's safety rating perfect. But the other 100 trucks were priority units. These vehicles were changed in a secret garage that only a few people could enter. They had $50,000 hidden rooms that could hold over 400 pounds of substances per trip. For years, this poison rolled across American roads right under the food people eat for dinner. But a single dog alert was about to change everything. Inside the garage where crime was built. The downfall of this billion-dollar empire started with a simple traffic stop 6 months before the big raid. In April 2025, a highway patrol officer in Texas pulled over a Southwest Logistics truck near San Antonio. The driver was calm and his paperwork was perfect. He was carrying 20 tons of tomatoes for the Midwest. To anyone looking, it was just another delivery. But a police dog at the scene did not care about the papers. The dog walked around the trailer and sat down near the back wheels. This was a signal that illegal substances were inside. The officers were confused at first because they found nothing when they checked the walls and the crates. There was no smell and no loose panels. However, dogs do not lie. They used a special scanner to check the thickness of the metal. The floor of the trailer gave a strange reading. It was much too thick and heavy. When they used tools to rip up the floor, they found the secret. Hidden in a custom-made void were 100 kilos of meth and over 1 million pills. The driver was arrested right away, but the agent soon realized something very strange. The man behind the wheel was truly terrified and did not seem to be acting. He was an unsuspecting helper who had no idea what he was carrying. This changed the whole investigation. The DEA realized that if the drivers did not know, the hiding spots had to be part of the truck itself. It meant the trucks were being built around the cargo. They looked into the company's money and found that the math did not make sense. While the real shipping work brought in $30 million, the bank account showed $300 million coming in. The cartel was using extra money to keep the real side of the business running so it could act as a cover. To prove this, an undercover agent got a job as a mechanic at the company yard. He spent 3 months working inside and found that the maintenance building was actually a factory for crime. He used a stolen key to get inside and found blueprints for hydraulic lifts and false floors. He saw mechanics welding secret spots into the frames of the trailers. These were not cheap changes. Each one cost $50,000 and was made to beat X-ray machines. He also found that while most drivers were innocent, a few special drivers were getting $10,000 cash bonuses and using secret apps to talk to the cartel. The secret inside the garage was worse than any substance. Money traps behind the glass walls. With the evidence ready, federal lawyers prepared to take down the whole company. They did not want to just stop one truck, they wanted to destroy the entire organization. On the morning of the big raid, while trucks were being stopped on the road, a second team of FBI agents went to the main office in Texas. This building looked like a normal tech company with nice lawns and big windows. But at 4 in the morning, the fake front was broken. Agents rushed into the executive offices. They found the CEO at his desk trying to delete files from a computer. The agent told him to step away from the computer because it was over. The CEO was shocked and claimed they were just a normal shipping company with big contracts. But the agents knew better. They told him he was a money laundering front for the cartel. He was arrested for conspiracy and running a criminal group. At the same time, other top leaders like the CFO and the head of shipping were also put in handcuffs. These were men who lived in big houses and acted like they were important leaders in the community. They thought their nice clothes would protect them, but they were wrong. While the leaders were being taken away, another raid happened at the secret garage. They found over 3,000 pounds of meth, 60 kilos of heroin, and 200 kilos of cocaine. They also found 44 kilos of fentanyl. The tactical teams caught the mechanics while they were actually working. Sparks were flying as they welded a new hydraulic system into a trailer. They did not even try to run because they knew they were caught. The garage was full of proof, including blueprints and lists of the 100 changed trucks. By 6 in the morning, the results were huge. 273 people were arrested. 100 trucks were seized. The value of the substances was over $2 billion. But as things calmed down, a sad truth came out about the workers. Nearly 500 drivers had been stopped. When agents talked to them, they found that about 150 of them were totally innocent. They were just regular people trying to do their jobs and feed their families. They had no idea that millions of dollars in poison were hidden under their feet. Their high-priced lawyers could not hide the secret digital files. Heavy sentences for the men in suits. The legal battle that followed was one for the history books. The trials for the leaders ended just last month in December 2025. The lawyers for the CEO and CFO tried to say that they did not know what was happening. They tried to blame workers for sneaking into the company, but the lead prosecutor had a secret weapon. She found a digital file on the CEO's laptop called the Shadow Ledger. This file showed exactly how the company was using substance money to pay for its normal operations. The leaders did not just know about the crime, they planned for it in their budget. The jury only needed 4 hours to decide they were guilty. The judge was very harsh and gave them the maximum penalty. He told them they had used the trust of the American people as a shield for a cartel. The CEO, CFO, and other top leaders were sentenced to life in prison without any chance of getting out. The company itself was closed down forever. All its assets were taken away, including the 250 trucks, the big office building, and $100 million in the bank. Even the desks and chairs were sold to help victims and pay for border security. The cartel lost a total of about $3 billion. This includes the value of the substances and all the property they had built over 15 years. This bust has caused major stores to change how they check their shipping partners. Companies like Walmart are now hiring outside people to check the money in the trucks of every company they work with. They want to make sure they are not accidentally helping a criminal group. This operation proved that the war on substances is not just about the border, it is about checking the businesses that move things across the country every day. The most shocking part is how long they got away with it. For 15 years, they operated right next to us on the highway. They used our roads and our trust to build an empire of harm. It makes you wonder how many other companies might be hiding secrets in their floors. Federal agents are now watching the roads much more closely than they ever did before. They have sent a clear message that no matter how many suits you wear or how big your office is, you cannot hide forever. Now, every major store is changing how they move food. When we look at the big picture, this case shows us that the world is changing. We are no longer just looking for people in the desert. We are looking at the computer files and the truck frames in our own cities. The cartel thought they could hide behind a real business, but they were wrong. The fact that 52 tons of poison could be moved by a single company is a wake-up call for everyone. It shows that we have to be careful about who we trust with our supply lines. The highways are safer today, but the fight is far from over. The leaders of Southwest Logistics will spend the rest of their lives behind bars. Their name is gone and their money is being used to fix the damage they caused. But the mystery remains about how many other ghost units are still out there. We have to keep asking questions and looking closer at the world around us. This investigation was a victory, but it also showed us just how creative and dangerous these groups can be. The lesson is clear. If it looks too perfect to be true, it probably is. Do you think these white-collar leaders should get the same sentences as street dealers? Or was life in prison too harsh for men who never touched the cargo themselves? Let me know what you think in the comments, and do not forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's biggest mysteries.